Hello everyone, welcome to the first episode of Famous 5 Adventures. First episode starts with Georgina, who was at the station to meet her three cousins. Timmy, her dog, was with her, his long tail wagging eagerly. He knew quite well they had to come to meet Julian, Dick, and Anne, and he was glad. It was much more fun when the five were all together. "Here comes the train, Timmy," said George. Nobody called her Georgina because she wouldn't answer if they did. She looked like a boy with a short curly hair and her jeans and an open-necked shirt. Her voice was covered with freckles and her legs and arms were tanned and healthy. There was the far-off rumble of a train and it came nearer, a short warning hoot. Timmy whined and wagged his tail. He didn't like the trains, but he wanted this one to come. Nearer and nearer it came, slowing down to reach. It reached Kirin station. Long before it came to the little platform, three heads appeared out of the windows. These three heads were waved widely. George waved back, her face one big smile. The door swung open almost before the train stopped. Out came a big boy and helped down a small girl. Then came another boy, not quite so tall as the first one, with a bag in each hand. He dragged a third bag out, and then George and Timmy were on him. "Julian, Dick, Anne, your train's late. We thought you were never coming." "Hello, George. Here we are at last. Get down, Timmy. Don't eat me." "Hello, George. Oh, Timmy, you darling. You are just as leaky as ever." "Oof," said the Timmy joyfully and bounded all around like a mad thing, getting into everybody's way. "Any trunk or anything?" asked George. "Only those three bags?" "Well, we haven't come for long this time, worse luck," said Dick. "Only a fortnight. Still, it's better than nothing." "You shouldn't have off to France all those 6 weeks," said George, half jealously. "I suppose you've all gone French now." Dick laughed, waved his hands in the air, and went off into a stream of quick French that sounded just like gibberish to George. French was not one of her strong subjects. "Shut up," she said, giving him a friendly shove. "You're just the same old idiot. Oh, I'm so glad you have come. It's been lonely and dull at Kirin without you." A porter came up with a barrow. Dick turned to him, waved his hands again, and addressed to the astonished man in fluent French. But the porter knew Dick quite well. "Go on with you," he said. "Are you barging in double Dutch like that? Do you want me to wheel these up to Girton College for you?" "Yes, please," said Annie. "Stop it, Dick. It isn't funny when you go on so long." "Oh, let him go on," said George, and she linked her arms in Annie's and Dick's. "It's lovely to have you again. Mother's looking forward to seeing you all." "I bet Uncle Quentin isn't," said Julian as they went along the little platform, Timmy capering around them. "Father's in a good, quiet tempo," said George. "You know, he's been to America with Mother, lecturing and hearing other scientists lecturing too. Mother said everyone made a great fuss of him, and he liked him." George's father was a brilliant scientist, well known all over the world, but he was rather a difficult man at home, impatient, hot-tempered, and forgetful. The children were fond of him, but held him in great respect. They all heaved a sigh of relief when he went away for a few days, for then they could make as much as noise they liked, tear up and down the stairs, play silly jokes, and generally be as mad as they pleased. "Will Uncle Quentin be at home all the time we are staying with you?" asked Annie. She was really rather afraid of her hot-tempered uncle. "No," said George. "Mother and father are going away for a tour in Spain, so we will be on our way on our own." "Wizard," said Dick. We can wear our bathing costumes all day long, then if we want to. And Timmy can come in at meal times without being sent out whenever he moves, said George. He's been sent out on every single meal time this week. Shame, I said, and patted Timmy's rough hair. You can snap at every single fly you like, Timmy, when we are on our own. There won't be any time for adventure these holidays, said Dick regretfully as they walked down to the lane to the Green College cottage. Red poppies danced along the way, and in the distance the trees shone as blue as cornflowers. Only 2 weeks, and back we go to school. Well, let's hope the weather is fine. I want to bath 6 times a day. Soon they were sitting round the tea table at Cottage, and their Aunt Fanny was handing round plates of her nice scones and tea cake. She was very pleased to see her nephews and niece again. Now George will be happy, she said, smiling at the hungry food. She's been going about like a bear with a sore head the last week or two. Have anyone have another scone, Dick? Take two while you are about it. Good idea, said Dick and helped himself. Nobody makes scones and cakes like you do, Aunt Fanny. Where's Uncle Quentin? In his study, said his aunt. He knows it's tea time and he's heard the bell, but I expect he's buried in something or other. I'll have to fetch him in a minute. I honestly believe he'd go without food all day long if I didn't go and drag him into the dining room. Here he is, said Julian, hearing the familiar impatient footsteps coming down the hall to the dining room. The door was flung open. Uncle Quinton stood there, a newspaper in his hand, scrawling. He didn't appear to see the children at all. Look here, Fanny, he shouted. See what they have put in paper. The very thing I ordered was not to be put in. The dolls, the idiots, the Quinton. What's the matter? Said his wife. Look, here are the children which have just arrived. But Uncle Quinton simply didn't see any of the 4 children at all. He went on glaring at the paper. He rapped it at it with his hand. Now we will get the place full of reporters wanting to see me and wanting to know all about my new ideas, he said, beginning to shout. See what they said. The eminent scientist conducts all his experiments and works out all his ideas at his home, Kenning Cottage. Here are the sack of his notebooks to know which are now added 2 more fruits of his visit to America, and here at his cottage are his amazing diagrams, and so on and so on. I tell you, Fanny, we all have hordes of reporters down. No, we shan't, dear, said his wife. And anyway, we are soon off to Spain. Do sit down and have some tea. And look, can't you say a word to welcome Julian, Dick, and Anne? Uncle grunted and saddened. I didn't know they were coming, he said, and helped himself to a scone. You might have told me, Fanny. I told you 3 times yesterday and twice today, said his wife. And I suddenly squeezed her uncle's arm. She was sitting next to me. You are just the same as your uncle's Quentin, she said. You never remember we are coming. Shall we go away again? Her uncle looked down at her and smiled. His temper never lasted very long. He grinned at Julian and Dick. Well, here you are again, he said. Do you think you can hold the fort for me while I'm away with your aunt? You bet, all the three said together. We will keep everyone at bay, said Julian. With Timmy's help, I will put up a notice. Beware, very fierce dog. Woof, said Timmy, sounding delighted. He thumped his tail on the floor. Have another scone, father, said George hurriedly. When are you and mother going to Spain? Tomorrow, said her mother firmly. Now don't look like that, Quentin. You know perfectly well it's been arranged for weeks, and you need a holiday. And if we don't go tomorrow, all our arrangements will be upset. Well, you might have warned me to us tomorrow, said her husband. Look, indeed, went. I mean, I have all my notebooks to check and put away. And Quentin, I told you heaps of times that we are leaving on September the 3rd, said his wife, still more firmly. I want a holiday too. The 4 children will be quite all right with Timmy. They love being on their own. Timmy snapped twice at a fly, and Uncle Gwinnett jumped. If that dog does that again, he began, but his wife interrupted him at once. There, you see, you are as touchy, as nervy as can be, Quentin, dear. It will do you good to get away, and the children will have a lovely 2 weeks on their own. Nothing can possibly happen, so make up your mind to live tomorrow with an easy mind. Nothing can possibly happen. Aunt Fanny was wrong, of course. Anything could happen when the five were left on their own. Well, that's the end of the chapter 1, episode 1. We'll meet again at episode 2. Thank you very much.